SBR Videos is sponsored by Sports Cash System. Click on the link below for more information. We are previewing Week 2 in the NFL here at SBRForum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We're talking right now with Tony George, very well-respected veteran industry handicapper. His website is TonyGeorgeSports.com, also LockerRoomPicks.com, and he's also hosting a brand new radio show Sunday mornings on Yahoo Sports. Tony George, thanks for joining us once again.
Hey, thanks a lot, Peter.
All right, before we get into Washington at Green Bay, plug your sites and the radio show.
The radio show's on at 8 o'clock on Sunday morning on Yahoo Sports Radio. There are affiliates all over the country. Of course, you can go to their websites. 8 o'clock on Sunday morning, that's Eastern Standard Time. Tune in. Last week, if you'd have tuned in the show, we went 4-1 against the number with our 5 selections on the show. And, of course, LockerRoomPicks.com associated with that is a content information site only. There's no plays over there. But we have some top handicappers there that we, the portal to get to Tony George Sports. Just go to TonyGeorgeSports.com. We had 3 guys last Sunday out of the 6 we have on the website that went undefeated. And the likes of Teddy Covers, Joe Gavassi, myself, Ross Benjamin, Jimmy Boyd, Sean Higgs. So be sure and go over there and check it out. There's no hype. It's just winners.
All right, and you gave us winners last week as well, 1 against the spread and 1 on a teaser. So hopefully you can do it again this week. Washington at Green Bay. Green Bay is -7 or 7.5. Totals 49.5. And Washington, as you mentioned in our last video, Shanahan didn't really have them prepared fully for Philadelphia, and RG3 did look like he was rusty, had some problems coming back immediately. They still lost, though, by only 6 to that high-powered offense. I'm looking at this, another good team in Green Bay with an offense that can put points on the board, but 7 or 7.5, I'm not exactly sure that that's justified here. Even if Washington does get beat soundly, they could still cover. They could still get a backdoor cover. If the same thing happens as what happened last week, they get blown out in the first half, and then they come back in the second half. I'm thinking Washington plus 7.5 might have some decent value. What do you think, Tony George?
Well, I'd sure like to disagree with you, but even though Mike Shanahan did not have his team ready to play Monday Night Football, which was surprising to me, him being a veteran coach, getting out coached by Chip Kelly in his first NFL appearance, but RG3 was not on board until the second half. What's interesting is both these teams here defensively gave up over 53 first downs last week combined. And, of course, the Skins gave up 443 total yards. And 263 yards on the ground. And the one thing in their favor is I don't think Green Bay with their running game can exploit that. I thought the Skins did a lot better job through the air defensively, especially in the spread attack. And then conversely, on their side of the ball, Peter, Green Bay, they prepare for a spread attack and Colin Kaepernick. So practice this week's not going to be a lot different for RG3. It's basically the same attack. So they'll be in a good mode there. But Packers gave up 404 yards through the air. They made Antoine Baldwin look like the Jerry Rice of old there in San Francisco. But, I just think at day's end, there's going to be a lot of scoring in this football game. Defense is not the strength of either team. I think Haslett actually is a good defensive coordinator. He was a decent head coach for the Skins, and I think that he will come up with a game plan here to control Aaron Rodgers and company. Obviously, they'll be able to shut down the run with their linebackers a little better this week because Green Bay just didn't have a good running game. And at day's end, I still saw a lot of things in that Green Bay game, Peter, that didn't impress me with them. Yeah. I was a lot more impressed with the 49ers, but at day's end, this thing again, like the other game we talked about, it's at 7.5 now. It's up to 8.5, 9 at offshore, probably to scare away the teaser players. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I'd take anything over 7 in Washington here. It's not going to come easy for Green Bay. Tough road trip back home. Very tough physical game. They get a 3 to 5 point win here. It'd be a good win for them.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I mean, come on, man. This is the NFL. 7 points and a hook. That's a lot of points to be giving to a team. And they got RG3. I mean, the question is, you think he's going to make a significant improvement here in week 2, or do you think he's going to struggle like he did in the first half?
You know what? I think he made a significant improvement from the first half to the second half last week, especially throwing the football. And I think that'll continue this week. He's got a hell of an arm on him. I rode this kid in college, made a lot of money on him at Baylor. even before he was popular, when he was a sophomore and a junior. But at the end of the day, he's got some weapons. Santana Moss is a good downfield threat. Green Bay's never had a good secondary in a long time. They were picked apart last week. Like I said, you give a receiver, 12 or 13 receptions for as many yards as Baldwin had. Santana Moss, you're going to catch him on a lot of stretch plays down the field where RG3 rolls out. And it's going to give Green Bay some problems defensively, and they'll hang around in this one.
Yeah, I agree with you. Tony George, Washington, +7.5. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you again next week.
You bet. Best of luck, Peter.
Thanks, you too.